transformations pirate map. Now your transformations pirate map is trying to start from your ship, which is right here. Move through all of your pirate map directions and eventually end up at X marks the spot. You're only going to end up at X marks the spot if you do each of the transformations correctly. Now don't worry, I've given you a little bit of a safe haven. Each transformation set, so notice I have a set for question number 1, should move you through a series of transformations on this coordinate plane, and then when you follow the end instructions, move you up to a starting point on the next coordinate plane. Let's see what this looks like. So, A. For our first image, we need to first identify all of the ordered pairs. So I have an x of 1, a y of negative 2. Why did I do that? 1, y of negative 2. For B, I have an x of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a y of negative 2. For C, I have an x of 4, a y of negative 3. For D, I have an x of 2, a y of negative 3. And now we need to follow the directions. We want to reflect ABCD over the y-axis and name the points. Well, my y-axis is right here, which means if I reflect it, that's the easiest of most of the transformations. My A is going to reflect equidistant. My B is going to reflect equidistant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units over. My D is going to be equidistant, so 1, 2 to the y-axis, 1, 2 away from the y-axis. And my C is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the y-axis. Now, while that's a quick shortcut for solving these types of problems, I do want you to be familiar with the rule for a reflection. So when we're reflecting over the y-axis, xy becomes the opposite of x, comma y. So notice my ordered pair for A is 1, negative 2. The opposite of x would be negative 1. Y remains the same, negative 2. So when we look at A prime, it is at negative 1, negative 2. The opposite of x for my B value would be negative 5. Y stays the same at negative 2. So we can come over negative 5, negative 2. That's going to actually make things a lot quicker and a lot easier when we're going through this. So negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 3. We draw our little image. And we're in good shape. We move on to transition number 2. Transition number 2 is a double prime. The double prime will continue from the previous prime. So we're moved from here to here. We're now going to move from quadrant 3 to wherever the next transformation takes us. So we want to translate. We remember a translation is a shift left or right, or left, right, up and down. So this one has the x's remaining the same. Well, that's nice. If my x is remaining the same, I can just bring it down. But my y's are going to increase by 3. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So my A double prime location will be negative 1, 1. Now, since we're only doing a translation, the rest of the image is going to shift up by the same set of values. The x's are staying the same, the y's are moving up 3. So we know where all of these other ordered pairs are because our shape is not changing at all. It is a congruent shape. However, we could go through our ordered pairs and figure this out very quickly. The x stays the same. The y's we add 3. Let's go on to the next one. So now we're rotating 90 degrees clockwise around the origin. And we're going to continue from our double prime to create our triple prime. Now, if we are currently in quadrant 2 and we rotate 90 degrees, 90 degrees from quadrant 2 would take us into quadrant 1. So we've gone from here clockwise to quadrant 1. So we know our image is going to be over here. Let's run through our rule to make sure that we get it right. XY becomes, for a 90 degree clockwise rotation, the rule is it becomes Y opposite of X. So my Y values are going to stay the same as what they are. They're just going to shift positions with the X. Our X values are all going to become their opposite. So the opposite of -1 is +1. The opposite of -5 is +5. The opposite of -4 is +4. The opposite of -2 is 2. So let's graph this. We have 1, 1. That's my A triple prime. We have 1, 5. 2, 3, 4. That's my B triple prime. We have 0, 4. That's my C triple prime. And we have 0, 2. That's my D triple prime. So I should have put my A outside of the image. That would make it a little bit cleaner, but we get what's going on. Now we want to move from B triple prime up 8 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. And right 3 units. 1, 2, 3 units. That put me smack on E. That tells me I am moving in the right direction. I have done all of my transformations correct for the first set. And we are good to work on the next set of transformations. This is going to require you to go back and review several of your rules so that you can do all your transformations working through this pirate ship. Now, when you are all said and done, you are going to send me copies of this work here. I want the translation treasure hunt work because that's where I see all of your ordered pairs and their changes. You get to keep the map because that's what you used to check your work when you ended up in the different locations.